Atlanta, live from K.L.P Studios. Shish. Ever wonder what went down behind the scenes of our top stories?
Say what?
Then tune into What Had Happened Was, the only radio station that takes you straight to the source. From coast to coast, tune in now as we dive deep into the stories, the drama, and the moments that shape the culture with
The swanky one, new K.L.P.
and
with your girl, Evelyn Letitia.
live, Swanky 93.3 and the Heat 94.6 radio stations, or wherever you get your podcasts from.
Kennedy, we back.
We back, ladies and gentlemen.
What had happened was, look.
I didn't think he got down like that.
Look, you knew we had this in the queue. Ow! Shut out.
This is what I did at the Amber's wedding.
That's what you doing. I was on the dance floor like that. What your daddy was doing?
He was like,
Your dad said, watch what happened now, youngster.
he like,
Watch
back
what
in the day.
happened.
I'm like, oh, okay.
What happened was. What had happened was.
Hey.
What had happened was.
Hey.
What
We
had
back.
happened was.
Hey.
Ow! Y'all, welcome back.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Oh, that was fun. I like that.
We gotta do that.
We're going to have to
Look.
keep doing that in each episode.
I'm gonna have to
right?
stop bringing some unique dance moves.
Yes.
I like that. We've been sitting on that little sound cue.
Yeah, we have. Because I mean, I knew it was in the board, but like I didn't know.
Yeah, I
it
just
was
happened
part
to
of-
play it like as we was preparing. I said, hold on, wait a minute. Let us put some dancing in it.
Yeah, I know. Break it down. The band came in. Like, oh, okay.
Oh, that's the new intro.
Yeah. About to say, where were we? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to What Had Happened Was podcast. There we go. I am your gracious, humble, highly favored, Evelyn Good with the button too.
Yeah.
Podcast, one of the podcast hosts, Kennedy Lucas in the clutch here in the studio, and we have the wonderful,
Yeah.
the talented,
Tell him, baby.
the awesome, the actor, the actress, the actress, songwriter, song singer, head of her band, Evelyn Letitia, y'all.
Hold on, head of what?
Head of her band. I don't know if that's true or not.
Oh, yes, I am. I thought you said. I thought you said.
What you about to say?
I thought you said head of her man. I'm like, what? Hold on, because I don't need nobody coming for me to oh, that's what's wrong with your independent women.
Oh.
You want to be the head of the man, like.
I've seen those two on social media too. Head of her band.
Oh man, you made me sweat a little bit. I'm like, hold on, what are you
You're like,
talking
hold on,
about?
what you say?
I was like, what?
Wait.
What happened?
Evelyn, it's good to have you back into the show.
Yes, it's good to be back, baby.
Feels good.
Baby.
You know, before we get to the good shenanigans, we like to catch in on each other. Hopefully y'all like last week's episode because we had a good one last week.
Yeah, we had some good, deep stuff.
Conversations. Evelyn, how you doing?
I am doing good.
You good?
I'm so good. I'm trying to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, doing what I do.
Doing what you do?
Yes.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing well now. You know, we got word. You know, it is out. It's available. My new movie, Syndicate, is here.
Wait, let me do this. You hear these people excited?
I'm excited, y'all.
Okay, y'all.
So, Syndicate is the third addition to Eden Prime. If you guys know Eden Prime 1 and Eden Prime Codename Atlas, those two movies are available on Prime Video. This Syndicate movie, I think it's been on social media. We signed a deal with Future Today and Flawsome for all of our movies to be on that network. And Syndicate is the new movie for this year of 2025 to get released. And this is the third edition. So Nina Jones is coming back as Ava Huxley. I'm playing a new character. You guys remember in Codename Atlas, my other character, Francis Green, he dies, right?
Oh.
So now I'm playing a new character in this one.
I was about to hit the horn until you said he died. Like, ooh.
He did. The character died in the second movie. So in this third one, I'm voicing a different character, BD23. This movie making is quite amazing. I'm very, very thankful for everybody who, stay tuned with all my movies over the years. To see us on a network like Flawsome and our partners at Future Today Incorporate down in California. I thank y'all so very much. Been believing in our dream, believing in our studios, and we give you guys great films and Our distribution there is awesome. So we're gonna have that in the link description too. So go check that out. You will not regret. Syndicate is an action-packed filled movie along with new characters in this film. So thank y'all. But Syndicate's out. So
you be setting me up. I'm about to horn. He died.
He died. Like, ooh, wait a minute now.
Ooh, never mind.
But yeah, I'm doing really, really well. Family's happy. Sister's back from her honeymoon.
Okay.
So,
honeymoon was getting honey.
So very, very excited. Just being blessed and highly favored is quite amazing. Feels good to be back here in the studio. By the way, we thank y'all always for watching this show, right?
Oh yeah, y'all clap it up for them. Clap it up for our supporters.
Yes.
I can't hear y'all.
There it is. There it is. You guys love the camera angles and our goofiness, and just we're switching up the show. Each show that we do, we try to perfect the set design of the show, and each episode we try to get better at it, and you guys love the progress of it. So we thank y'all so much, very much, very, very much. Now, let's get to it. You want to talk about Jonathan Majors?
Let's talk about Jonathan Majors.
Oh man, I saw, and I guess we can talk about his new movie that's getting ready to come out. It might be out already by the time we, air. But this new movie is called Magazine Dreams. And seeing this movie, because me and Evelyn, me and you both, we both work out.
Yeah.
So when you see Jonathan Majors and posing is quite amazing. I guess we'll play the trailer first. That way I can talk more about it. And
I'll read a synopsis of it. Killian Maddox is consumed by his dream of becoming a world-famous bodybuilder and one day gracing the cover of a fitness magazine or magazines. He lives a lonely, regimented life, and his relentless drive for perfection only pushes him deeper towards self-destruction. But beneath his tenacious pursuit of superstardom lies a desperate, aching need for human connection. As he battles both the limits of his physical body and his own inner demons, Magazine Dreams explores the lengths one man will go in his haunting quest for recognition in a world that often overlooks him.
That sounds awesome.
You have to do something big and important, or nobody will remember you when you're dead.
That is that pose that just gets me.
That body.
Yeah. Big.
The dedication.
Side chest. 21 and 7 switch.
I want to be Mr. Olympia one day. I've been training for this every moment of my entire life. Like my deltoids, judges always say they're too small. Think they're liars?
Everyone's a liar. It is important that you find people that you can make an emotional bond with.
I'm asking you nicely and in a calm voice. If you're not 100%, you will never be successful.
Nobody knows who you are. Nobody.
Well, you gotta commit all energy and focus to being the greatest bodybuilder on the entire planet. That's what separates one from being a champion, one from not being a champion.
Hey guys, Killian Maddox is here. Current eyepiece. No!
The world ain't fair. It ain't supposed to be fair. That's how it works.
How are you doing, Killian?
What? When I close my eyes and dream, they're gonna put a picture of me on the cover of the magazine. When the entire world will know my name.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. The trailer alone got me so.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's going to be, this movie is going to be inspirational. when I see bodybuilders and people building muscle, it's just motivation for me. Jonathan Majors is huge, but like, I get it. And I only can aspire to get that big one day. I'm working on it, y'all. But to see, he's like,
I was just, you know.
we're working on it.
So when you get
just a
that big,
little
I can say, okay, I remember. I'm locking it in.
You're locking it in. You know, but just locking it in. First, I guess my first thoughts on the movie inspiration. I am proud of Jonathan Majors because we all know the trials and tribulations he went through. And to see him, this is his bounce back.
And we talked about this on some episodes back about, you know, his like he having the star power and the talent and the gift. Just watching the trailer, his raw emotion. Like for a second I was getting too into I'm about to cry. I was like, oh, girl, pull back, you on camera. you ain't getting paid for film work right now. Like save them tears for when you need them.
I'm proud. I'm proud that they, and it was funny, and we talked about it too, because we saw it on their, Jonathan Majors posted like behind the scenes. We went to Zeus Film Studios and talked about the project, and for him to be so enthusiastic about building this film and then of course filming the movie, putting it together. Now we're getting ready for it to hit theaters on the 21st of March. Look, it is a good full circle swing. That's an expression for all y'all who didn't know, but it's a full circle swing, meaning that he's swinging from everything else that's going around. He's turning around and he's trying to get back into the light of his craft, which is acting, which is producing. You know, I think this movie is going to be extraordinary. I would not be surprised if it got nominated for some awards. I would not be surprised because Jonathan Majors, him being such a fantastic actor, he can cultivate and really capture audience on screen in front of a camera. He's one of them. So that's why I say I'm not surprised if it gets nominated for some awards and it gets highly praised from this movie. And I'll say this too. He was already big, but he trained for this movie. You think about Michael B. Jordan in Creed 3. He was in that movie too. They both trained their bodies to get the role, eat right, lift weights, do their thing, train a lot, eat a whole bunch of meat and protein for a movie role. And you have to stay dedicated. You have to stay committed to that. I mean, we know about, because I've filmed some movies, and Evelyn, you've been in some movies, filmed some movies too. You got to stay committed to your role, right? So you got to do things that are not in your daily habits for a role or for making a film. So I'm very, very, very proud of Jonathan Majors. I hope this movie sees so much success.
And you know, on that prior episode that we talked about him, remember I specifically was bringing up how someone who was on my Facebook timeline had said from Marvel to Zeus, like that was crazy work or diabolical, how you go from, you know, Marvel to Zeus. And now you see this trailer, like I said, when you got talent and gift, no matter what platform you put it on, it's going to do what it's supposed to do.
Yes.
And I made that, you know, comment way back then. Also, not only that, there's been talks and rumors of Marvel letting him reprise his role back in the Marvel universe. You know, there's been also talks that Michael B. Jordan has expressed interest in bringing back Jonathan Majors for a potential Creed 4.
I think they should. Because Creed 3 did so good.
All of that. But of course, with, you know, any kind of good comeback, there's also going to be some things thrown at you to kind of set you back. And now there's talks that he was admitting to some things on a recording. You want to talk about that?
Yes, let's talk about it. From what? From Rolling Stone?
Yeah, Rolling Stones put this out. They released this audio that Jonathan Major admits to strangling his ex-girlfriend. Now, y'all, we're going to play it and let y'all listen to it. I have listened to this thing so many times, right? He's talking, and that's him, because this is the thing. Nowadays, there's so much you can do with this AI stuff. I've heard full-on songs and stuff by artists that wasn't their voice. That AI generated their voice. So, but this is supposedly from Rolling Stones at Jonathan Majors, and they said admitting to strangling his ex-girlfriend. I've listened to it so many times, I don't hear the smoking gun. What I do hear is him talking to a female. I don't know who this female is. He's talking to this woman, and she says, as he's talking something about strangling, and he says, "Yeah, that's never happened to me." Yeah. So it's like she brought up the word, and then he says, "It's never happened to me," but yeah. Almost like, he's denying that's been his thing, but yeah, like, I'm agreeing with you that happens for some people. Yeah. That's what it came across to me, but then also there's this crinkling noise as if there's paper or something being rattled underneath, so you can't really fully hear it. But of course, what do people do when they love drama? Mm-hmm. They take something that's unclear like this, run with it, and decide that it's the truth. And especially when it's coming from a magazine like Rolling Stone, who has longevity in this business, it's kind of like when somebody dies or something major happens, a lot of people don't believe until TMZ puts it out.
Right.
Rolling Stone has that kind of power to move the people. So you see on Rolling Stone, you automatically go, it got to be true.
It got to be true.
But we're going to play it for y'all, and I'm going to even play it more than once because it's a short clip. Mm-hmm. But see if y'all hear the smoking gun. Here we go.
Honestly, I've never wrestled with a woman before. I mean, it's just, I've never, all these things are under addressed. Yeah. That's never happened to me. So
because I said something sarcastically, in your eyes.
Clearly it's more than that.
Yeah.
Clearly it's that.
Something inside of you.
I was hoping it.
I'm gonna play it again. Now I'm gonna go back because it sounds like she said you strangled me or something. He says it was under duress, and that's never happened to me before. So I'm not sure if she's saying like you strangled me, and he's saying, oh, that's because you were being aggressive, and I was trying to get you off of me. But even this whole dynamic of being attacked by a woman has never happened to me before. Yeah. So my reaction never happened before. It's unclear. There's one little short audio of what's being said, but I'm going to play it again. Mm-hmm. And again, me saying this is me looking at it from an unbiased point of view. I'm not trying to say that the young woman that he's talking to, that she's right or wrong, or that he's right or wrong. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to pull back any guilt or anything that if he is guilty, I'm not trying to pull that back. What we're saying is listen for yourself. I just don't hear the smoking gun. But here we go again.
Honestly, I've never wrestled with a woman before. I mean, it's just, I've never, all these things are under address. Yeah. That's never happened to me. So
because I said something sarcastically, in your eyes.
Clearly it's more than that.
Yeah. Clearly it's something inside of you.
So
it's the crinkling for me.
I really don't know. So that's one of them we got to stay tuned to see what happens.
See what really happened. What happened was.
I don't really understand it, But people, of course, for clickbait, are so quick to share it. We're talking about it because we want to highlight his film, but you can't highlight the film in the climate right now without also talking about this thing that just popped up, right? But one will say that the timing is very coincidental. Yeah. Soon as his trailer comes out, this amazing film what it looked like, all of a sudden this happens. It kind of reminds me back when, I can't think of his name right now, but he played Nat Turner for the Nat Turner movie, Birth of a Nation. What's that actor's name? And there was something that happened when he was in college. He was accused of, I guess, sexual assault or something like that. Mm-hmm. And supposedly it was thrown out or ended up not, he wasn't charged or whatever.
I see.
But right around the filming of the release of Birth of a Nation, which the original Birth of a Nation was released back in 1915, and it kind of showed like black men and slaves in general and people like chasing and coming for white women, and the KKK was the savior of white women. And so this Birth of a Nation, the one more recently that was coming out, it's challenged and talked about Nat Turner, who led an uprising. And that it was a great film. But again, the main lead of that film ended up getting ostracized and things because of this thing that happened in his past. And I'm trying to think what his name was. Nate Parker. That's his name.
Oh, I know him. Yeah, he
Yes.
played. Yeah,
So
Nate Parker. I know Nate
that's
Parker,
what this
yeah.
reminded me of. That's Nate
Yeah.
Parker right there.
Yep.
It kind of reminded me of that. Like as
Good
soon as
actor.
this thing that comes to highlight, black men doing something powerful.
Right.
Oh, look, we got to throw something out there.
Throw
to bring
some
it
out.
down.
Yeah. I hate
Now
that.
again, it's not saying that if he's guilty, he's guilty, and we should just overlook that. I'm not saying that. The timing just seems very suspicious to me.
Yeah.
Like because if you got this audio, you've had all this time to release it.
But why now when the movie's about to come out?
You could have released it when the first time you found out he was even doing this film.
Right.
When there was behind the scene footage of him at Zeus and talking about the film and then make it, you could have shut down production but now that it's done and here we are, it's about to be released. Now you come with this audio. So it's like
people, like you said, Evelyn, people love mess and controversy, and it unfortunately what sells.
It is what
media
sells.
outlets. So they'll try anything to make that quick buck. My take on it, based off what I'm listening, it's not a admit to anything. For what I heard, it just seems like a casual conversation he having. It doesn't seem like he's admitting to anything that he's been accused of, and like to say allegedly, right? We don't, but. Based off this clip, I haven't heard anything that's incriminating, in my opinion, from this clip from Rolling Stone. I think it's just one of those media outlets that's trying to turn over that quick buck, right? Get the people buzzing, keep the people, hey, let's read Rolling Stones, get eyes on their article. I get it, it sucks. Yeah. It really does suck that media outlets are like that because now you're just kind of defaming somebody who potentially is going to have a great movie. And have a great season with this movie. And trying to make their comeback into their acting and their craft. So it just kind of, it's unfortunate. It really does suck in that regard. And I really hate that for Jonathan Majors.
But the other buzz is that him and, his girlfriend, his fiance, let me that they have gotten married.
Yes. I mean,
they haven't come out and publicly, confirmed, but there's been some whispers that they got married in a private ceremony. And fiance turned wife allegedly is making good.
Yeah.
So, hopefully he can get back on track, and stuff like that. And hopefully they don't have any domestic issues going on, anything in their relationship and that, they just get back to winning that life.
I know. Jonathan Majors, though, you big, man. You big. In a good way. I'm joking, guys.
Me looking at that video, though, I'm like, I ain't doing enough. Girl, go do a sit-up.
I feel like I ain't doing enough.
I'm like, I was like, girl, go do another sit-up.
It's all about health. Health is wealth.
While I was watching, I was sitting here holding my lower belly.
Yeah, I'm like how he posing, how he...
I was like, girl...
How you do that?
The fupa is going beyond fupa now. We need to.
Yeah, shout out to him. Health is wealth. And speaking of health is wealth, y'all, I gotta say, y'all gotta be careful what y'all be putting in your bodies. And I ain't gonna go on my health tangent too much, but this story comes from World Stars. It went viral. Tracy Morgan was at the Knicks in his Heat game about a few weeks back now.
Tracy.
We love Tracy. Good actor, good comedian. He's doing his thing. And when I see the photo, he waterfalled. It looked like a waterfall coming from his mouth. Now, as of recording, he's much better, and he says that it could have been food poisoning that Tracy.
And the waterfall he's referring to, Mr. Kennedy, as the internal to external outputting of the things that were in his stomach.
Yes.
AKA vomiting.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I'm gonna just do it. I'm sorry, Rena and folks, but I gotta let it out.
And they got this, like, somebody from across the court got a clear snapshot of this happening. I'm like, y'all know y'all could have just put his headshot and told us he threw up, and we would have still got like what happened. Y'all didn't have to put a picture of vomit coming out of his mouth and all over the floor. You didn't have to. I'm like. But I get it, because if they didn't, somebody else would have, and then that person would have got paid a whole lot of money for their photo. So I get it, but I'm just like, you didn't have to, though.
Yeah. But I'm good, because there's a video here now, and Tracy Morgan's getting escorted out with security in a wheelchair, but carried him out to the hospital because something was really wrong food poisoning could do that to you guys. I do say
and he said this his nose was bleeding, like that video you see right
Oh yeah. I see.
His
Yeah,
nose was continually bleeding.
Yeah.
So
he was sick that night. I would have stayed home if I wasn't feeling well. And it does hit you like boom bop boom bop bam.
Boom bop boom bop boom bop wham.
Yeah, it does. Sickness does hit you like that. So maybe he didn't know until bam, it just hit you.
Yeah.
But I do say health as well. But I think Tracy Morgan's watching his health too. He's been. I've seen him lately. He looked like he's been losing weight and doing his thing.
Years ago, he was in an accident where a semi truck hit his van, and I think one of his close friends passed away and everything. And it took a long while for Tracy Morgan to be able to talk, to walk again, get out of a wheelchair. So he has fought through a lot of health battles over the years, to come out of that, and then he ended up getting his show, The Last OG, for a few seasons.
Yeah, I remember that.
So he has made a great bounce back. But like you said, sickness can hit you out of anywhere.
Yeah.
Child, that's time I just be feeling fine, and I be talking, and this wave of nausea hit me, and I'm like, ooh,
I don't feel good.
what was that? Then your mouth start watering, you're like, And don't let me be somewhere where we dressed up, sophisticated looking, with sophisticated like, and all of a sudden you get nauseous with. There's no perfect way to exit out of the room in that minute. You're like, shoot, where the bathroom?
Yeah.
I'm about to throw up on this person's tie.
Yeah.
Like, I've had those happen to me. And I hate that it happened for him in front of thousands of people and on television, because they had to stop the game for a while.
Yeah, the clean because is, toxic insights on the court, so you kind of have to wipe that up so no one gets sick.
Yeah.
But it's good to see that Tracy Morgan is doing better and healthy. I do say a lot of people, and I say this, you can't eat at everybody's house.
You can't.
You kind of have to be careful. You can't pull up in somebody's house for a house party and eat their chicken wings that they got and their mac and cheese they might have cooked. I'm like, who made this? Yeah. I don't know if I want to get sick from this. So.
That came from Shirley's house. Shirley with the roaches.
Yeah,
Shirley that don't be washing her clothes and stuff.
I'm good on that.
No, I'm good. Give me a can of soda. I can wipe the top of it off.
Yes.
Have you ever had food poisoning?
Let's see. Have I? I haven't had food poisoning, but I have been sick from. Let's see. I think I've been sick, and it's rare. With food, I've rarely been sick, but I think one time, and it might have been the American Deli, the type of American Deli I go to. So American Deli, for people who don't know, good restaurant to go and get like nice chicken wings from. I went to an American Deli, got some lemon pepper wings, and I was eating it, and then later that night, I puked it all up.
Yeah.
And I've been scared to eat lemon pepper because I thought I was just allergic to lemon pepper. But the other day, I cooked lemon pepper chicken and some rice. It's not that. It's the type of food at that specific American Deli.
Yeah.
The only times that I really throw up is if I'm really sick or if I had too much alcohol. I'll tell you all a quick story. In Miami, you get enticed to drink and have a good time. I went with my friends. Shout out to y'all, by the way. Punta Cana's coming up this June. Can't wait for Punta Cana.
That was my first. Punta Cana was my very first solo trip I ever took out of country by myself.
Yeah.
I went in 2015 for my 28th birthday.
Hey.
Stayed at a resort, breathless.
That's what we're doing. Yeah.
Baby, I met a nice old gentleman my first date.
Oh, yeah?
I was telling too much.
Oh, yeah? Oh, well,
I had a good time. A time was had.
Yeah. But, I didn't mix my lights and darks, but I just was drinking too much. And we were in an Uber, and I was like, when I'm about to puke, guys, I get real quiet, and I get real dizzy. I was like, oh, yeah, I gotta upchuck. And then my friend Muncie, she was in the front. I said, hey, Muncie, tell the Uber driver, pull over right now. And then he swiftly swerved over because he knew what I was about to do. Got out. We were on a major highway. And I said, and Muncie came in. She was like, you all right, Kenny? I think you had a little too much to drink. I was like, yeah, I did. So, but really, the only time when I throw it is if I have too much to drink.
I had food poisoning once. This was... had to be between 2014 2016 because it was in my townhome because those years I lived there and it was before I bought my house. And I think I got it because it was during Thanksgiving. I got invited to some people's home. It was a young lady that I had done like karaoke and stuff with. We was kind of building a friendship back then, but her mom invited me and everything because I wasn't going to my hometown. I was up in the upstate South Carolina. I'm from the Low Country, so I decided not to go home. They're like, come over here and eat. And I think it was the deviled eggs. I love me a good deviled egg. A good deviled egg that's devilish. That got devil in it. Ooh, a good devil egg.
Yeah.
But I think it was a devil egg because there was like a bunch of devil eggs on the table, and I was going to town. Like every time I thought, I said, okay. And then I'm like 10 deviled eggs in. Like I don't ate somebody a whole carton of eggs.
Oh no.
But I was enjoying myself. Like right. I get home. It's the next day. I had to work the next day. And I remember having to call my manager at the time because, you know, I work as a nurse practitioner. I make house call visits.
Yeah.
And that morning I woke up. I was nauseous. So I ran to the bathroom. It just feel like my stomach is turning inside out. Everything in me is coming up. And just when I'm thinking I'm getting a handle on the nausea vomiting, my stomach said, I said, what you say now? It said, and boy, I barely got my pants down.
Oh no.
I was up chucking from both ends.
Oh my God.
And I had to call. I said, there is no way I can go see people today. I can't stay at the bathroom more than 5 minutes. I was in the bathroom every 5 minutes. In my master bedroom at the time, it was probably like maybe from my bed to the toilet was about 15 feet. I am sliding out the bed on all fours, crawling because to stand up meant the nausea and vomiting was coming faster. My stomach was cramping. Like it was so bad. And like usually I know that if it's something viral, antibiotics ain't gonna help that. In fact, antibiotics can make stomach issues worse because sometimes antibiotics give you upset stomach. So like it's gonna be self-limited. Let me just manage the symptoms. But by day 2, I had already lost 4 pounds.
Oh wow!
By day 4, I'm 7 pounds lost, and I was like, I gotta go to the doctor now. And I go, and they told me like, we think this is food poisoning, and so that happened during that point. And then probably about 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, I was coming back from Charlotte, and I stopped at this wing place.
Yeah,
never eaten there before, and I got some wings and stuff like that. I had garlic parmesan wings. And some fried. And I was eating it. Everything was good.
Don't you hate it when you eat some good
Everything
food?
Because matter of fact, I was coming back from Virginia. I had gone to Virginia to do some theater stuff. And then as I was coming back, I stopped in Charlotte. Because when I hit Charlotte, I know I'm an hour and 45 minutes left to my house. Mind you, Virginia was like a 6-hour drive where I was coming from. And so I got something to eat because I said, I ain't ate yet. By the time I got to Greenville, I was throwing up. Nausea, diarrhea out of both ends. I was so weak I could barely stand up to get off the toilet. I was through. I was just like, oh my gosh. And I had gotten so weak because people don't realize when you are nauseous and throwing up or you're losing liquids, whether it's coming out your mouth or the other end, you oftentimes losing a lot of electrolytes.
Yeah,
so my potassium, sodium, everything got so low. I could barely walk. I mean, I was hurt. My legs was cramping so bad because I know I was probably vitamin deficient by that time. So, electrolyte deficient, I'm sorry. So, I ended up going to, I was able to pull myself in the car and I drove to Walmart. Because working on production crews, a lot of the times, especially if I'm working as the runner or someone who's sitting on the crafty area and stuff. Yeah. One thing we have a lot of time is stuff like liquid IV. Yeah. Things that have like the little packets you can pour in your drink to get electrolytes. Right. You know, especially we're outdoors doing stuff and people be sweating a lot. So I said, okay, I've never drunk well when I was on set before, but everybody said they work. So I got some liquid IV. Took that. I immediately felt 10 times better. Wow. The pain in my leg, the cramping went away because I knew my vitamin. I said, oh, yeah, my potassium is low. It got to be real. My magnesium got to be real low. I've lost so much fluid. Yeah. And that, child, I felt so much better. Oh. Them are only 2 times. I don't wish that on nobody.
Yeah, I don't wish food poisoning and alcohol poisoning. Because that's a real thing too. Sickness in general, but poisoning you don't want because you in bed for a few days. Mm-hmm. And when I had my respiratory infection back in January, I hated it because I couldn't go out to the gym. I couldn't pot. I remember when I texted you, I was like, "Hey, we can't pot this week. I'm super sick."
I was like, Kennedy, take care of yourself.
Yeah,
don't you come in here. Don't you come to the studio.
You're gonna get sick. I promise you.
These people can wait.
But it's such a good feeling with health is wealth, y'all. So I do encourage health is wealth. One thing I've been doing real quick, I've been eating a lot of natural foods too. Yeah. like cooking naturally instead of eating not processed food or not eating out so much, minus last weekend with the Amber's wedding, but cooking more and eating more fresh ingredients. And then I've been very, very healthy, and it just didn't feel like after eating dinner, I didn't feel sick.
Yeah.
So
that's always good.
That's always a good feeling. So I say that health is wealth on the good side. Speaking of good side, now this part kind of goes to the education kind of sector, y'all.
Okay.
I'm very, very happy about this, that schools are doing this. Harvard announces free tuition for families making under $200,000 annually.
Oh, shoot. Somebody about to be mad.
Somebody about to look. I applaud Harvard for doing this because, yes, school is expensive. I get talked about all the time, and I tell people if there's a way to not take loans on school, you are blessed. Sometimes I don't judge people who take loans on school.
Yeah.
I get it. It is what it is. But I do like it when schools are giving tuition for families who just can't afford it, right? On the flip side.
There's
always a flip side to this. Is Harvard doing this for a secret agenda? Now, in universities, you got to get the admission numbers up. You've got to validate if you get government contract or government funding. I don't know if Harvard in particular, but a lot of schools get funding from government, right? So if you have a great number of attendance and great number of admissions, then you get the sort of funding that you need.
Yeah.
So I wanted to pick your brain on that, Evelyn. Do you think Harvard's just doing this for a secret hidden agenda, or do you think they legitimately care about the families?
When I see this, a lot of times, because let's be honest, a lot of these universities, if they wanted to give people families who made less than $100,000 a year scholarships and free rides, they would have been doing so long before then. So yes, of course, I think there's some kind of kickback at some kind of reason of why, whether it's some kind of government subsidy that they're going to be getting or what. I think there is. Time will tell what that is.
Yeah.
Because if there wasn't the case, you wouldn't have what's called legacy admissions, where these wealthy, rich people, they pay, get my child in, and my child is a C or D student, if that. But they go to Harvard and they get these Harvard degrees, and you think, they had straight A's coming out of high school. No, they were C and D students at best, but they just had rich parents that paid their way through. Right? So it does cross my mind. What is the kickback that's going to happen for this? Like, why?
Yeah.
Or do you recognize what many of us have known for years and years upon years, which is sometimes, even though people are maybe in a low socioeconomic class, they're the ones that are still bringing the highest level of innovation and high scores and rankings to your university. So that's what I got to say.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. I think there's a lot of schools that should do this. I've been seeing, as of late, a lot of schools, they're innovating programs and developing more programs for students, because I honestly think with universities, you have to build more programs to get students back interested in going to college. Now, I'm going to go on my rant a little bit, y'all. I do think education is very important.
Yes.
I get it. We're in today's society, and a lot of people think that education is not important, and whoever's we all know who's in office right now. They have their own agenda there. We won't go there. But I do think education is quite important to a lot of people because, and I always say this is the same. And I said it before, but I said
you always get me nervous when you start smiling. You're like, I'm going to say this.
It's a good saying.
Do I need to be ready?
You can air horn for this one.
Yeah.
But getting a degree puts you in those conversations when money needs to be made. Whether it's a bachelor's, a master's, and a PhD. A lot of people ask me, I've got my master's, I'm working on my PhD. They're like, Kenny, why are you doing that? Why is it a waste of time? No, because with a PhD, it's going to get me in those conversations that money's been made. You got your degree and you're doing nurse practitioner. That is a necessity in U.S. So you're always going to have that type of job along with your acting stuff too.
Yeah, and I think that's that's the important piece.
Right.
Is that the degrees matter only if it matters for that profession.
Right. That's true.
So
that's true.
You can't be a doctor or a nurse practitioner and not have the college degrees that match that.
Yep.
However, there are some occupations where you don't need the college degree.
That's true.
You need the certification and some experience. And you're going to be walking in some of the same doors as other people who got a 4-year degree or PhD. It depends on what your degree is in and what field that you're doing.
Right.
There's plenty of people with bachelor degrees and masters who may be working at a fast food place.
Yeah.
It's not that they, fast food is beneath them, but their job, the degree they have, just there may not be a high demand for that. So now they're back to doing something over here that maybe wasn't what they went to school for. So I think degrees definitely matter, but it matters based off of the occupation that you're going to be doing.
Yeah.
Some definitely are necessities, some not.
Yeah. I want to be dean of students. They ain't gonna hire me with just my master's. I gotta get a PhD.
Yeah.
So it's part of the bigger plan, So, like I say, I applaud schools like this because kids these days. And let me tell you, and I ain't trying to age us, but as we get a little older, these kids getting younger. It's kind of maybe it's an expression or a saying, but
I get what you're saying. Never mind.
I was trying to make sense about it, but as we get older, these kids look like, wow, you're 18. Whoa,
I get what you're saying. Like as we're aging and we know we're aging, and then the people coming into our field, you're like, oh, they young.
They young.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Now, when you first said it, I was like, what?
I was 17 10 years ago.
You know what it was giving? Because at the end of the day got to end. I was like, what?
And as these kids these days, they're understanding the politics side. We won't get there. But there's politics behind this. And they're like, well, why am I going to school, getting a loan, being in debt for it? It's not worth it. And it's kind of scary.
And it's that. And that's one of the things, and I kind of was talking to you about this before we got on, was about, looking at certification. Because I love my job in entertainment. I love it. That's my gift, my passion.
Yes.
In order to do that, I have to be able to, and it's fleeting, right? Most people that hear you're an actress or you're doing this, they think you're up there making what Denzel make. Ooh. I am not. I am nowhere close. I am not over there with Viola Davis. Even Viola Davis, she said they ain't paying her worth, right? I'm not up there with the Taraji P. Henson as of yet. Like, I have aspirations to live comfortably one day, but even those people, they'll tell you, you still got to keep working because this job is very fleeting. You may have this one thing, this project, and it may not have another for a while. I've been able to do a lot of projects back to back to back in the past few years, and a lot of those are independent stuff. Of course, I would like to do bigger budget things, but I don't discount the work that I get done. But that also means if I like to keep my house that has a nice little mortgage to it, if I like to keep my car with all these payments I got to make on it, and my gas and electric and this and that, and then if I go to the doctor and you tore something, you got to have surgery, I got to be able to have something else. So, but it also has to be like kind of flexible to allow me to continue to do the entertainment thing. So my job, I work PRN right now, as needed. So I set my own schedule, which works out well with this stuff I'm doing. But I was talking to you about, getting a certification is something that I could do a work from home job that's as needed, that I can just take my laptop and stuff, because that's even less demanding than me having to get up, put my uniform on and go to people's house and travel and this and that, and be in my home state to cover the counties that I cover. It's a lot different if I had a certification where I could take this laptop down over to Tennessee or to California and then get on my computer and do my work that day and then log out,
Right.
So one thing I would tell anybody who's looking about college and things like that, don't discount, getting a trade that you could take with you and be your own boss wherever you go. That's the one thing I look back on in life. Nursing it took me away from my hometown to give me some advantages in life in different avenues. Yeah. But when I look back, I was like, dang, I wish I would have took some more tech classes. Like, I wish I would have done some more, some carpentry or electrical work or stuff like that. Because these people, they make good money and always in demand, and they could be in their own business, So I look at stuff like that, like certification. When you talk about barbers and beauticians and things like that, they got certifications and stuff where they can be in business and take their business wherever and build their
Wherever, yep.
clientele. So I tell people, don't discount that if you don't think college is for you or you don't get into college, baby, learn a trade that nobody can take away from you.
Amen. She cooked. Evelyn cooked.
Let her cook.
Let her cook.
Let her cook.
Let her cook. But shout out to Harvard, you know. Hey, I get it. I get it. Now, I think we mixed our segments up a little bit because we got more. I got another story about basketball, and I forgot. But
gosh, Kennedy, no,
I did.
it's on me too. I was gonna remind
I forgot.
That's all right.
But
But
there is this thing that's going around with the Los Angeles Sparks, and I wanted to touch on it because you brought up a good point before we went live. And I get it. Now, LA Sparks are holding male practice players tryouts next month. So April, what looks like. And there's memes that's going around it from a guy's point of view, which we won't play the video and stuff because that's not the purpose of the segment. I wanted to get your take on this too because now there's no secret that all the WNBA superstars, I'm not even going to just say players, superstars, they're so talented. They're pretty.
They're very beautiful.
Very beautiful.
Beautiful women.
Beautiful women.
Beautiful with a capital B.
But beautiful. I think from a male's point of view, we are forgetting their talent. They're not just a hot piece of ass, right? That's what some guys, not me, some guys are saying out there in the world. And it sparks kind of.
Say that.
I mean, they're beautiful.
Kidding. He didn't say that, y'all.
Nah, I gotta have some respect because these women are very, very talented by playing this sport.
Very.
And I honestly do agree that WNBA superstars don't get paid nearly as much more than the NBA players that make millions upon millions upon millions per contract. And then these superstars, the WNBA, don't get paid a whole lot in the millions. I think they should.
They actually make more money going to play overseas.
Yeah.
Which is why Brittany Griner was overseas when all that happened, and a lot of more people. And then, of course, sponsorships and deals and stuff like that. Angel Reese really is racking up. She has a shoe deal, and I think it's Burger King or one of the fast food joints.
McDonald's.
Like she had, so they get more money from doing that, not necessarily from basketball on the WNBA. Yeah. But to Kennedy's point,
yes,
there's a video because they're calling for men, to sign up if they want to practice to help, and someone made a meme video.
Yes. So it is. So if you guys don't know,
read it.
From the meme from the Hater Report, but this is a meme. It is a video of two what look like they're really couples, but one the female's playing basketball, and then the guy, I would assume the boyfriend's guarding her, and then the meme says, "Me guarding," and I'm so sorry if I butchered the names, Rikia Jackson and Cameron Brink in the post. And it's a video of the guy guarding the girl, but then the guy...
He's like humping on her. She's like, get your... is that your...
And then they kind of like it, and it's just kind of the whole meme out there sexually out there in the world.
And so I asked Kennedy specifically, I said, I don't want to play that.
Yeah.
The reason being, if the WNBA was on the level of the NBA where they were getting millions to play and they have this great platform where they're being shown all over the place, that kind of is in the background of noise. You play that, blah, blah, blah. But when you have a platform like the WNBA that's been around for years and still fighting to get a recognition, and you got these amazing women who play, who are very talented. I'm talking about be balling their behind off, to deduce them to just some meme about, the men gonna be rubbing on their booty and putting their dick print on them and all that kind of stuff. I didn't want to deduce them to that. One, I'm an athlete. I know what it feels like to be a female basketball player, to be pretty, to be attractive, and people deduce all your hard work and ability to just that. And you see that online a lot, that, they're just pretty faces, or blah, blah, blah. But then if they don't put on makeup, or if they don't put on high heel shoes, then you call them, they look like men. So you can never win. So I wanted to keep it about their talent and their gift. I said, so I don't want to show that. I want to give them a platform, if we're going to talk about them, let's build the platform up before we start making the memes and jokes and tearing it down. Like, and like I said, the WNBA has been around for a while.
Oh, wow.
And it's still trying to get there. You know, this current, most recent freshman class that came in really helped boost those ratings a lot. You know, get more eyes on them, but they've been around for years. Yeah. So I just didn't want to deduce their talents and gift to that particular gift. Yeah. So that's why I asked them not to share that.
Of course. Yeah. And Cameron Brink, as she plays on the LA Sparks, she went on a podcast with Curry Lee on the Straight to Cam podcast. So this is what Cameron Brink said. She said, in this, I'm just quoting, I guess my confession is I'm really icked about the potential about the new practice players. I gotta slow down when I read.
Yes, that told me effing you up.
Yeah, be messing me up. And I get it. I trust me. I completely understand the concern with the new practice players being males. There has been, and based off this article, they're going to, of course, background check all the male practice players in this practice, but you still kind of have to be careful because you can pass, a background check, but then I'm not saying all guys have a hidden agenda, but guys have an agenda.
But some creeps, they've been creeps so long, they know how to creep in secret until the secret is out, right? Did she say specifically what her concern was?
Well, it just says that she's really icked. So it could have been because she goes on to add on that she meant that this is her quotes. She said on the podcast, she said that she hoped that they're in the LGBTQ gay.
Okay. So she's basically saying she has a problem. She doesn't want straight men on her. Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
That's what I picked up on what she said. Like I say, it's just, and she also added too, who are we trusting coming into this gym? She added. She's not boxing anyone out. Lynn Roberts, the coach, is going to be screaming at me for not rebounding, but I'm not boxing out anyone.
And I will say that it is different. Different. Again, as a woman who plays basketball, and many times when I go play pickup ball, and this has been since I was a kid, high school, middle school, going to the park playing. But it usually was me and maybe a few of my homegirls that was in the basketball team, but we usually are very outnumbered when it comes to us playing at the park and stuff. So there's a lot of guys. Yeah. And like we're out there balling. We playing, we're balling. But you always got when you trying to play defense and you blocking somebody, like, yeah, girl, that is fat. Like you got to hear this stuff while also feeling him getting a hard on. Yeah. Like, and then if you hit like gut check somebody or hit, see why y'all, that's why females y'all get too emotional, blah, blah. Your dick is on my back.
Yes.
And not because you can't control it, it's because you are saying suggestive stuff in my ear, blah, blah. You ain't doing that on him. When he barking you out, it's specifically because I'm a female, right? And some of you going to come on and say, oh, well, that's what, he's a man. They're men. They're supposed to feel that way. It's basketball. Yeah. Be creepy somewhere else. Like, play ball. We out here to ball. Let's play ball, right? Don't grab my ass just because it's sitting there and that's what you want to do. Like, it's one thing if it happens because I'm running behind you trying to get the ball and you actually, that's different. So I get her feeling of not wanting to be around men that she don't know and playing hard against them. But this is also not a new phenomenon. Many of college teams sometimes have a whole male, those certain squad that they bring in to play against them. I think USC, Gamecocks, they have, I think the highlighters is what they call them. It's either USC or LSU, one of them. They got the highlighters, these dudes that come in and help practice. They help them, run them a little faster and jump, And there's a time when I was in high school, we would have joint practices sometimes when I was on varsity specifically. I remember the male varsity coach at one point, he was going back to school to get his degree, I think a bachelor's maybe, because he didn't have that. And so because he was doing night school, there was a couple of times where we had to have joint practices right after school. Because it used to be we would have practice and then the boys would practice after us. But then they started switching sometimes so he could go to class or we would have a joint practice. And I remember one of the very first joint practice we had, and our coach used to run us. And we just was running, right? But we used to do like 2 and 3 suicides back to back because we worked more on fundamentals.
Suicide? Like
coach would run us for conditioning.
Yeah.
But we would do more full court, 5-on-5 or more fundamental work, stuff like that. We didn't just spend all of our time running because we did a lot of that outside of practice anyway. But we practiced with the boys one time, and I remember Coach Highsmith. Shout out to Coach High. We were there, and he was running our runs that day. Man, we must have did about 5 suicides back to back. Like by the time you catch a breath, like you said, he's like, on the line, whistle. We're like, what the? We just got back to the line. Yeah. Like man, when I tell you, we was running.
Oh jeez.
So it does help sometimes, you know. The alternative, I would say, is that she feels uncomfortable. There's a lot of women coming out of the college arena, NCAA, who may not make the cut. And of course, they're working on that now. They're trying to expand more teams in WNBA. But there's a lot of great college players who graduate, they don't find a team. Yeah. Maybe they can start having like a B-side that's their practice squad. Kind of like how football has a practice squad. Yeah. Maybe they have a practice squad, and you may not can pay them what you're paying the main ladies, but maybe they get access to the games. They get tickets, or they get gear. You can have that as well.
Because some people do love to feel a part of a team. Rather if you're not on, like, in the game, but, like, you're part of the team. Yeah. People would do it, you know. Pay them, maybe not a whole lot, but, like, with gear, too, if you're on the practice squad. Because I think a lot of high school teams do that, too, where you make the team, you're on like the backup on to play in the game, but you're not the starter quite just yet because we have our starters, but you're still part of the team. You can still call yourself a player. Yeah. So I get it. But I do hope that they do these background checks if that's, you know, if they continue to do that with the LA Sparks and any other of the wonderful NBA teams. But I get it. Yeah. I understand. I'm here for it.
And outside of WNBA, they also have the new league, the Unrivaled, which is a 3-on-3. Which more recently, the Rose, which Amber Reese plays on that team, they won a 3-on-3 title, the first women's 3-on-3 title against the Vinyl. And the MVP of that game was Chelsea Gray. Hey. When I tell you, Chelsea was going off. She was awarded a playoff MVP award. She had an 18-point 8-assist performance in their championship game. And she said she entered the Unrivaled with a chip on her shoulder. She said coming off a disappointing season in the WNBA, she had something to prove. Her quote was, "Hell yeah, there was motivation." She said, "Last year was hard. It was rough. Even when I came back, I wasn't 100%. A lot of people thought I was. I put in the work, I do my job, and then I talk afterwards. I want to compete and make others better. That's always been my goal. So yeah, I had a little chip on my shoulder, and also that $50K was on the line. So because of the championship, whoever won the championship, each member got $50,000 in prize money, in addition to what Unrivaled claims to be the highest average salary in women's team sports, plus equity in the league. And this is a new league, and I think it's taking off. It's getting a lot of recognition. People are loving it. So that's great that they get some equity in it. And she had 18 points in that game. But the night before, she came off a career high of 39 points. So she was, balling. And so I'm looking forward to seeing more from that. And Angel Reese is on her team as well.
Hey,
shout out to the Rose.
Hey, good times, good times. Yeah, Evelyn?
No, we got one more.
What we got?
Lilo.
Oh, yeah, we do.
We got to talk about Disney.
Yes. So, there's of course, so, you a big Disney fan?
Yeah, well, I grew up on a lot of Disney animated movies, and then of course the Pixar stuff they do, and DreamWorks. So yeah. I've been to Disney World now probably about 5 or 6 times. My most recent time was December of 2023. We took a family vacation, so I got to go with my nieces. At the time, and the little one, she was still a little baby, but she's about to be 2 next week. Yes, my baby turns 2 and her older sister's 8, but I got to experience Disney World with them for the first time. So I had a great time. I like Disney.
I like Disney. I like the Pixar.
They got some scattered historical past.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
But
So, of course, Lilo and Stitch is one of my childhood animated movies that me and my family love watching. Now, in the summer, they're getting ready to release the reboot, live action, whatever you want to call it. And that actually don't look that bad. So let me play this, play a little bit here. And actually, you know what? I'll do one better.
Okay, I was like, come on,
Come
Lilo.
on now.
That's how you sound, Lilo.
Lilo and Stitch trailer. Just to kind of do one better. There we go.
We have apprehended a dangerous experiment. Where is he?
He escaped.
He's trying to find the police cruisers.
It looks more like actiony, like more sci-fi than ever.
What hideous
Cinematic, I guess that's
is
what.
caught in your crosshairs.
Shooting star! I wish for a friend.
Aw.
I take my babies to see this.
Yeah.
I low-key want to see it too.
What the hell?
Oh, they cussing in this. I'm just kidding. Aw.
Not him acting like a dog.
Yeah.
He is your responsibility. Got it.
We promise.
Yeah.
Down from there.
Look like an angel.
No. Control him. Hey, what are you doing?
Oh,
No. Dogs on the table.
You sure that's a dog?
Hey. Oh, God, no.
Yeah.
Rough.
We are not keeping this thing.
Ohana means family. Family means nobody gets left behind.
We're not.
Stitch bad.
Sometimes family isn't perfect. That doesn't mean they aren't good. That was close. I don't think you're supposed to drink that.
Oh, man.
Agent Cobra Bubbles. We have a blue dog to catch.
Hey.
Come on. That's Angela Bassett's husband, Courtney B. Vance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to see
You're
it.
going
I'm
to go
taking my
see it?
babies to see it. Now I'm gonna say this.
Take you to the count.
Keep going.
Stitch. 1.
Oh. Oh.
I'm definitely
Yeah,
gonna see it.
they're going to make
Yeah.
some money off of this
Yeah.
one.
Now I want to say this to Disney. Don't think just because this little movie look like it's good and I'm going to see it, that I ain't forgot that y'all just recently canceled the highly anticipated Princess Tiana animated
Oh,
series.
yes.
Like, y'all
Yeah.
think y'all slick. I was ready for Tiana. But this look good though.
Yeah,
You gonna see it?
Not by myself. I'll say
Baby,
that.
I don't care. I'm gonna go by myself. You go by
Yeah.
yourself.
Nah, well,
Adults like we like cartoons.
but I do too. But like this movie with family, yes.
Oh, you don't let me by yourself.
Yeah, nah, not this type of movie. No, but this looks really, really good. I can tell they added some stuff from the original story, which is great because you know it is a cinematic type movie. Like the animated movie was long enough, but like they couldn't go straight from the animated movie to this one and say, "Oh, that's the movie."
Yeah.
They had to add a little bit more because I can tell they added, you know, a whole lot of more into this movie. But it looks good. It's one of the CGIs that I get so proud of because live action is so important when you're taking from anime or cartoon into real life, and they're really doing it well. Like the Sonic movies, for example, they take that from, of course, Sonic the Hedgehog character, and they make the live action movie, and it looks really, really good. So they must have spent a lot of money on Stitch and the aliens and space and getting Lilo and Nani right. Make sure and Lilo, whoever is playing Lilo, she sounds just like the animated Lilo too. So it's really cool that they bring it close to home. Movie worth seeing. I say wish, but you know, I ain't got no nieces and nephews, so I was like, I can't.
You don't need to go to that. Look, go to that movie and watch it by yourself.
I got. Hey, Brian, you want to go see a movie?
If I say, look, I've been to so many animated movies by myself.
Yeah. Okay, so I did go to one animated movie by myself because I really wanted to see it to review the Mario movie. The Super Mario.
Oh yeah,
movie. Yeah. But that's different. I went as a gamer.
Peaches.
Yeah, that movie was good too. Jack Black did good in that movie. So that's really the only movie that I saw by myself. I would go see a movie with my brother a lot. That's my movie buddy.
Gotcha.
Yep. But yeah, you going to go? Of course, you're going to go see it. You going to surprise your nieces and nephews?
Yeah, I might. Well, my nephew's the youngest one right now. It's King, and he's down in Florida. But yeah, my older nephews, one of my babies just turned 16 in February. The other one, he's out of high school and everything, college. So most of my nephews are like teenagers now. So the youngest one, like I said, King is down in Florida. But I probably take the girls to see it as soon as I can.
Yeah. May 23rd, y'all. Not a sponsor, but they want to sponsor us.
Yeah.
Sponsor,
come on. But that wraps us up.
Yes, it do. Oh, hold on now.
What happened was.
I like the breakdown.
What happened was.
I like the breakdown.
Make sure y'all follow us at WHHW Radio 1 on Instagram.
Yes.
And on our Facebook, where What Had Happened Was podcast.
Yes.
Tell them where else.
Spotify, Apple, Pandora, if you're listening to the audio version of the show. If you're watching the video version, Spotify video, YouTube, Facebook on the Facebook page, and my LinkedIn for me, and Twitch as well. So you guys, and we're going to be posting clips and stuff on the Instagram account, because y'all been liking that too. So
make sure y'all share them. Like, subscribe, share, so everybody else can follow us.
Yes.
And then y'all get in on this dancing right here we do. I am Evelyn Letitia, and this is
K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas. We'll see y'all in the next episode of What Happened Was.
Peace. Deuces. What happened was. What happened was. What happened was. What happened was.
Hey. I like the guitar.
Atlanta, live from K.L.P. Studios. Ever wonder what went down behind the scenes of our top stories?
Say what?
Then tune into What Had Happened Was, the only radio station that takes you straight to the source. From coast to coast, tune in now as we dive deep into the stories, the drama, and the moments that shape the culture with
The Swanky One, New K.L.P.
and
with your girl, Evelyn Letitia.
Live, Swanky 93.3 and The Heat 94.6 radio stations, or wherever you get your podcasts from.